view. We have no hate for them. They've been lied to. They've been deceived. The next speaker coming up here today, I think he used to hate me, didn't you? And he went to a boxing gym that I took my kid to, so let me introduce the young lad, Jesse.
Thank you, Tommy. Hello, everyone. I want to say I'm very grateful for Tommy for having me on here. My name is Jesse Clarke. I'm from Hertfordshire, Hemel Hempstead, just 20 miles up the road. And as Tommy said, well, first of all, actually, I know it's hot today, but this isn't a suntan. I'm actually half Egyptian, and my mum's English and Irish. But I'm British. I actually had most of my friends advise me not to come here today. And I said, not come, fucking speaking. They advised me not to speak because I am fighting in a boxing match on Misfits on the 31st of August in Dublin. I'm fighting against Prince Nazim Hamed's son, Sami Hamed. And it's quite magical that I'm here on stage with Tommy, because as he said, the first time I met him was in a boxing gym in Luton where he used to take his boy and I used to train myself. Anyway, I want to say, it is not racist to oppose illegal immigration. What everyone is here for, and what Tommy stands for, it's not about the colour of your skin. It's not. If your bathtub was overflowing, you would not reach for the mop. You would turn off the fucking tap. I've had the fortune of travelling around the world. My wife is in Tanzania. I've based myself out in Tanzania. And I think if this was Brazil, for example, and it was a load of Brazilians waving Brazilian flags, no one would call them racist. But when we raise a British flag or an English flag, we're labelled racist. I was in Ghana, in Africa, earlier this year. My sister lives in Ghana. Ghanaians really don't want Nigerians coming over the border, but no one calls Ghanaians racist for that, or prejudiced, or discriminatory, because it's not. We have to put our country first. Now, there's a quote, one of my favourite quotes by Mark Twain. It is easier to fool people than to convince them that they have been fooled. So I did used to hate Tommy when I was about 15 or 16, I'm 29 now. I used to hate Tommy, and I've got two types of friends. I've got my friends that still hate Tommy, since they were 15, 16 until now, 30 years old, because they haven't looked into him since they were 15 or 16, and they're too egotistical to step back and say, do you know what, I fucking agree with Tommy on that point. They can't do it. And then my other type of friend likes Tommy, but they're too scared to come to a place like this because they think they'll lose their job. What do we say to them? Now, another thing I want to mention is, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the infamous radical Islamist bully, Mohammed Hijab. So those of you who don't know, he's about 6'5", he's a bully, he goes around university campuses, he's always on Speaker's Corner in Hyde Park, and he bullies people into Islam, basically. And there's a video going around of him online right now, saying, if a 13-year-old girl's hips are wide enough and her breasts are big enough, it is okay to marry and have sex with her. And that will bring me on to my last point, which is simply kids. Leave our kids alone. LGBTQ+, whatever fucking else they put in their name, they are targeting our children, and it's not British values. We don't care if you're gay, if you're whatever. It's not about that. It's about indoctrinating children. Kids are being given puberty blockers. They're chopping off their genitals and they can't reverse it. And schools are making parents unable to know this stuff. They're not letting the kids tell the parents or the schools tell the parents. So I've said all I need to say. I've never spoken in front of a crowd this big before, but I've got zero nerves in my belly because I'm speaking from the heart. And I've just remembered, I wanted to say to all my friends that I went to school with or whatever, who still don't like Tommy Robinson or hate him, he was the only person in this country that stuck up for those young girls in Rotherham and other places when they were being raped. This man will go down in history. I promise you all, when we are all dead and buried in 100 years' time, they will read about Tommy Robinson. They will speak about Tommy Robinson. And you are all here today in front of him. You're lucky, but he's one of us. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Jessie Clarke on Instagram and TikTok. Jessie Clarke.